Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Philip Duncan. We're tracking rain clouds around New Zealand today. We've got a low in the South Island. We've got a tropical low leaving the Fiji area, and next week, potentially a bigger rainmaker for those dry parts of northern New Zealand. You know, we just started to use the word drought in the last few days, and interesting timing that we just start to mention that, and potentially a rainmaker, which could be very helpful. Perhaps one of the wettest days we've seen in a couple of months for northern New Zealand. It's not yet locked in, but we're certainly seeing it showing up in the modelling, and we'll show you those maps right now in this video. But let's kick off first of all with the Wednesday setup. There's that low pressure around the South Island and the remnants of what was Cyclone Lucas. Can't see it on the map here, but out at sea, joining forces, and you might have noticed it's still fairly humid in the north. Northerly winds coming down into the North Island, mostly northern and eastern areas, but there is a cooler change coming through. We've got an animated map to show you now. It shows the rain in green. This is it here, moving up and across the country. A couple of red dots showing an isolated thunderstorm or two from Auckland northwards, maybe one in Central Plateau, and the blue dots you see here around the Southern Alps, that's snow. We've got snow falling in the Southern Alps across Wednesday, and as we head towards Thursday, things do start to dry out. The final map you see here is for 9 o'clock on Thursday evening, showing mostly dry, just a couple of showers you can see in the green there, and fairly cloudy. That white you see out to the west, that is all cloud cover. So a bit of a southerly change that will drop that humidity over the next couple of days. So this is the setup for Thursday. As you can see, that southerly change has come through, and like I just mentioned, a couple of showers here and there. The low responsible for all of this drifting off to the southeast of Dunedin, 986 hectopascals, and a big high, 1018 behind it. Not the most powerful high, but quite big in size. Meanwhile, the tropical low to the northeast, what was almost a tropical cyclone, very close to New Zealand, maybe joining forces with some of that rain that's departing. The worst this is going to do is produce dangerous rips. So the sea might look normal, but you've got this system offshore making things a little more dangerous, and I can hear all the surfers through the screen saying, yes, this is awesome, thank goodness. Let's go to the end of the week. By the way, surfers, it's not lingering much, and it's weakening as it moves on in. See that red line? That's pulling down all that tropical air. So very close to New Zealand, but just missing us. That's why we're not really getting much of an event. So as we go in towards the end of the week, you've got that big high in charge. So Friday is looking pretty settled. Saturday is looking quite settled as well. A little bit of a northwest breeze developing down here. That will lift your temperatures up as we go into the weekend. So that'll be pleasant after the cooler change you've just had. By Sunday, no real changes here. High pressure in control, a very slight nor'easter, and that humidity returns. Starts to build back up again on Sunday evening, kind of like what we just saw this past weekend, where Sunday was the day where the humidity started to go up. We'll see that again this Sunday as the system in the north starts to develop. Now, our Monday map shows potentially this northern system coming in. It's connected all the way up into the tropics. There's a line of rain straight out of the tropics. There's that red line pulling down all that moisture-rich air. So the humidity is going to go up. Facial eczema for the farmers who are watching this. But high pressure further down the rest of the country means that it's a lot more settled in the lower South Island. Our final map for Tuesday shows what's going on here. Not so settled in the lower South Island now. Windy, potentially gale force winds out of the northeast coming through for you, parts of Otago and the west coast. But to the north, that low is deepening further, and another low behind it connecting the tropics up with New Zealand. It's going to be very humid. This line here, this isobar, passing down past Samoa and Tonga and Fiji and straight on into the North Island. So there's a really good chance of rain next week in our driest regions. We'll keep you posted. This is only the 6-day forecast, but we'll keep you posted as we get closer and closer to this low next week. The modelling has been pretty much there for a couple of weeks showing low pressure, but because we've got this big high down to the south, that is the guiding force. If that high expands just a little bit further northwards, that rain becomes less, and we see lower totals, and it doesn't penetrate as far down into New Zealand. So one to keep a very close eye on next week in the New Zealand area. That is all from me. We'll see you again tomorrow with our next update.